My gamification project, I decided to use Minecraft, and this will allow students to build immersive worlds in the Minecraft education version. So my lesson involves an integrated curriculum content, so it's science and English language arts, and the target audience would be 8th grade, and it would connect to the life science and development of a species, and I'll go into the content standards for the science on the next slide. For the English part, we would be reading or looking at the book Jurassic Park, and it's a middle level fiction book, and it can be used to meet those standards, so students will be analyzing the book and making connections between events that happen. And I just thought this would be a really cool connection between science and English, so students can get the scientific background on how species and the genetics and evolution are connected, and how in the fictional world of Jurassic Park the scientists were able to do that. So for my curricular standards for life science, it'd be the grade 8 standard talking about the species and fossil records. And so we would have a lesson over that and bring into the lesson examples of how Jurassic Park scientists, made the dinosaurs and looked at the DNA and all of that. For my 2 English standards, the students would be analyzing how a text makes connections between different events or ideas, and they would also look at the author's perspective in the text and analyze how those viewpoints connect or if they conflict. I have 2 different net standards. There's the student standards and the teacher standards. So for my students, they would be getting at least these 3 standards I felt were more important. So they will be an empowered learner, a digital citizen, and a creative communicator. They will be able to take on an active role in demonstrating their technology learning goals, knowing the rights and responsibilities of using digital technology, and they will also be communicating creatively through the Minecraft world to their peers. For my teacher standards, I would obviously be a leader, a citizen, designer, and facilitator. As a leader, I would support the students and work towards improving their learning. As a citizen, I'll inspire students to contribute to the digital world. As a designer, I'm designing this lesson so my students are supported in a technology environment. And as a facilitator, I am facilitating the students' learning while they are designing their worlds in Minecraft. So for my demonstration, the students would be going through a teacher-created MinecraftEdu world of Jurassic Park, and along the way they would have checkpoints to stop at and a worksheet where they will write down information. There'll be questions. I'm going to show you guys a video in a sec of the Minecraft world I created. There's some talking in it. It's not fully developed, but it's just a preview of what the students would be going through. Then, using that as an example, this would be more of a cumulative project where the students would pick a story, whether it be a short story or a book we've read over the school year, and they would bring to life their own world in Minecraft and work together in a group, and then they would have a partner group and switch projects, and these students would be writing stories based on the characters from the story or book and have their peers accomplish certain tasks, just like I did with the world of Jurassic Park. So if we head on over to the video, so we are talking to John Hammond at the Visitor Center, and he'll bring up this little talk, and he's just simply welcoming you to Jurassic Park. and you will be touring it, going into a mine car, and it'll stop at different places, and you will have different things to do. So we're going to go into the visitor center right here, and since this is just a sample of what the world will be like, the visitor center just has the T-Rex sculpture, but there would be different stations and different things to be doing in here for the students before they go on their journey through the park. So we're going to walk back down and hop on the cart, and this part is the most immersive section where the students will actually be engaging in the world and doing different activities. So we are going to go right ahead on it and speed through along. And we will be coming up to our first stop shortly. So we are going towards the gates of Jurassic Park, and before that, where that sign was back there, they would probably stop, and I would have a checkpoint right before they enter the gate, and see. So right here is our first scientist, and we are at the Brontosaurus stop. So this is Dr. Henry Wu. He's a scientist, and he would talk more about this herbivore, and the students here would get out, and we would have different stops for them, and they would have a worksheet where they would follow along and do different kind of checkpoints, talking about this dinosaur and the species and its evolution, and then also bringing in from the book what they have done in order to create this dinosaur, and maybe some ethical views, and they could have a short answer response talking about, is this good or ethical or whatnot. And then we'll be going to our next stop, which you can see the electric fence. So this one will also be similar to the Brontosaurus, but have different questions and talking about the different scientific processes. Speed on up here. So we're coming up to our next character, and the students here will get out and talk to Robert. So this is our T-Rex. So here the students would be getting out before they jump in this cart, and like I said, since this is just a prototype, there aren't too many things that the students can interact for, but they would have things dealing with the meat eater and the T-Rex, and similar to the Brontosaurus, but a little bit different since we have a different dinosaur. And our last stop is the genetics lab. So it's the laboratory, and this will be the concluding part and really dive into more of the science concepts about species and evolution and genetics. And here I would bring in specific examples from the book and have the students connect science and English topics. So, one big benefit of this project would be that students are able to be immersed into a fictional world and really become part of that narrative. So, in the video, you saw specific scenes, and there would be more built as we would go through the book, but students would be able to interact with those characters and see those scenes come to life in the Minecraft world. And while they are creating their own world, students are more engaged in building those teamwork and technology skills that they can use in other classes. They'll also be able to gain practice with story processing, vocabulary, sentence structure, and plot development while creating their own story because they have to bring that story to life in the Minecraft. So when they give their project to another peer group, those peers are able to understand what story the group picked, first of all, and be able to follow along with the plot structure and really remember what happened in that story and be a part of the story as they're going through the different parts. A couple challenges do come up with this. Some students may struggle with controlling the Minecraft tools. I know I had lots of learning to do when I was building. They might also not enjoy gaming as much as some other students, so those students who don't enjoy it might not be engaged because they don't think of it as fun, whereas other students would love the chance to work on this. With the story building process, my lower level English students may have trouble connecting those plot developments because they might not have gotten a good grip of the story when we went over it. So for them to then try to incorporate it into a Minecraft world could be challenging for them. I think that there is great future in the game-based learning and gamification in the classroom because technology is always changing and advancing, and that is allowing more game-based activities to be brought into the classroom, and it allows students to develop high critical thinking skills and problem solving skills and really just be a good chance for students to get engaged. And we have tons of opportunities for them: Kahoot, Minecraft, tons of just simple little tools that you can use that bring in that gaming into the classroom. I really think that it'll take off, and more teachers will see the benefits of bringing that gaming aspect into their classroom because it not only engages students and motivates them, but it also improves them cognitively, emotionally, and socially, and really changes their way and the way they view learning.